You've probably never come across anyone who told you to become indifferent, at least not in a good way. But what if we told you that mastering indifference could hold the key to unlocking a better way of living, one where you're no longer chained to the anxieties of life? The cold, hard truth about life is that there aren't a lot of things under our control. We have no choice but to look them straight in the eye. However, the one thing we can do is become indifferent, so we're not swept by the currents. And you'll be able to do just that after we've gone through the 10 ways to master indifference. But before we get started, make sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe to our channel for more life-changing videos like these. Number 10. Understand indifference. The first step to mastering indifference is to understand it. Otherwise, you're no different from the guy stepping into a ring without knowing his opponent. So first things first, indifference is not being cold to the people around you and turning into the human version of a rock who feels nothing. Instead, it's detaching yourself from situations and negative outcomes, so you can free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Imagine your mind as a calm lake. Now imagine someone drops a pebble into it. By the laws of nature, this disturbance will create ripples, which will eventually leave the water undisturbed. Practicing indifference helps maintain that tranquility, allowing you to navigate life's challenges without being overwhelmed by emotions. Number 9. Practicing mindfulness. Of course, your next question should be how to master indifference. Well, the first step to doing that is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness at its core is about being fully present in the moment, so you can observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. This allows you to detach yourself from any preconceived thoughts that may be influencing your perspective, which paves the road to becoming indifferent. There are plenty of helpful vibes out there on how to be mindful, like meditation guide videos. You can also look up some deep breathing exercises that might come in handy when you don't have the luxury of opening up YouTube. Number 8. Cultivating a sense of self-awareness. Another thing that might help you in practicing mindfulness and mastering indifference is cultivating a sense of self-awareness. Typically, we live our day-to-day lives without giving much thought to our reactions and our emotions. And so one way to anchor yourself is getting in touch with your emotions and thoughts. What we recommend is taking 5 to 15 minutes at the end of your day to reflect on what happened during the day and your reactions to different situations. Ask yourself questions like, why did I feel this way? Did I make the right decisions? Or did I let my emotions take control of me? Could I have reacted in a different way? Do this often and you might be able to identify what triggers you, giving you a stronger grasp on reality. Number 7. Break free of your attachments. Once you've checked out the self-awareness step on your journey, you can easily break free of your attachments, which comes next in the master course of learning the art of indifference. Emotional attachments are a natural part of life. We become attached to the people, places, and even the objects in our lives without meaning to. And while these attachments do bring us joy and a sense of belonging, they also play a big role in holding us back. And so at times, it becomes important to let go of them. But the question is, how do you do that? It's not like humans come with an on-off button. Well, that's where self-awareness comes in. Once you're aware of your thoughts and emotions, you can easily identify any attachments in life that might be holding you back. Journaling might help you out in this regard. You can also practice detachment. Say you're really looking forward to a promotion at work to the point it's becoming unhealthy. Well, the key to becoming detached in this situation is retraining your brain to put in the best effort and going, it is what it is, instead of expecting a better outcome. Number 6. Prioritize self-care. Moving on, another important lesson to keep in mind is to prioritize your self-care. See, you can only deal with life's challenges if everything else is in tip-top condition. Think of it this way. No one expects you to keep your calm when your kitchen is on fire. But you can take steps to prevent that fire from happening in the first place. In this case, it would be taking care of your physical and mental well-being so you're able to build the resilience to deal with obstacles without becoming too emotional. So if work's getting too hectic, take that vacation. You can also call up that emotional support friend you haven't talked to in a while, or maybe even visit a therapist. Number 5. Cultivate gratitude. Cultivating a sense of gratitude will also help you in becoming indifferent. Remember how we talked about getting swept up by the currents of life? Well, that tends to happen a lot if you're zeroed in on the negative aspects of life. However, Studies show that creating a sense of gratitude helps you shift that perspective and improves your overall well-being. Think of it this way. You make a painting, and once you're done, you have two choices. You can either focus on the tiny mistakes you made, or you can admire your masterpiece. Of course, if you're smart, you'll choose the latter. And do you know what the best part is? Cultivating a sense of gratitude is easy. All you have to do is make a list of 5 things you're grateful for every day, and one day, that feeling will come naturally to you. Number 4, embrace acceptance. Speaking of which, gratitude goes hand in hand with acceptance. You need to realize that there are certain things in life that are beyond your control. But what you can do in these situations is concentrate on the things you can change. Jory McKay, writing for Fast Company, said, "Feeling confident and calm in work and in life requires living with issues that are outside of your control." Meanwhile, writer Darius Farrow told McKay that the key to mental resilience is to focus on the things you can control. And the most powerful things you can control are your effort and skills. You can make this into a mantra that you repeat to yourself every day. You can also keep that in mind the next time you find yourself triggered. In fact, instead of reacting immediately, train yourself not to. Take 5 and think to yourself that this is beyond your control, and the only thing you can do is move on. Number 3, learn to hold back. Of course, an important part of this entire journey is learning when to hold back. Say your friend's dog passed away, and you're disturbed because you lost a pet once as well. And well, your brain tells you to distance yourself from the situation and become indifferent to your friend's pain to avoid triggering yourself. Now, we're all for self-preservation, but that's not exactly the way to tackle this situation. Your friend needs you, and as someone who knows the pain of losing a pet, who would be better suited to lend them a shoulder in their time of need than you? And so choosing to be indifferent when you hit a bumpy road is not always the solution. You need to understand when to be indifferent and when to not be indifferent. Unfortunately, there's no hard and fast rule here. Most of the time, you could listen to your inner voice instead of your emotions. But other times, it's simply trial and error, which is most of your life anyway. Number 2, engage in meaningful activities. Now, you can choose to be indifferent, but you still need to direct that energy somewhere. Say your friend bails on a hangout that you have had in the works for weeks. Well, in that case, following the strategies we've discussed so far, you could simply choose to not care about the situation. But you could also take things one step further and do something meaningful with your time. Think of life as a garden. If you only plant weeds, you'll never see the beauty of the flowers. And so, to see the flowers, you need to engage in activities that bring you joy. You could use the extra time to pick up a new hobby, or maybe even ring up that friend you've never had the chance to hang out with. Besides, adopting this strategy will help you cultivate a sense of purpose and fulfillment within yourself, which makes it easier to become indifferent to the negative triggers life throws your way. Number 1, strengthening your indifference muscle. Of course, you're not going to become a pro at staying indifferent suddenly. It's going to take time. And just like gym bros hit the gym to work on their biceps, you're going to have to train your indifference muscle. We don't have a training regimen for you, but we do have some tips, like practicing mindfulness and acknowledging your emotions that we've already covered. Another thing you could work on is trying to reframe your perspective. Basically, what you try to do is change the way you think. Of course, it won't happen in a day. It'll take work, and you can put it in when life throws some wild cards at you. Say something bad happens at work. Your boss takes the piss out of you for messing up. Well, in that case, instead of feeling humiliated, you could try to focus on what you learned from your little mistake. You should also keep in mind what Epictetus said. People are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things. We say this a lot, but remember, mastering indifference is a journey, not a destination. By incorporating these strategies into your daily life and practicing them consistently, you can develop a healthy sense of indifference that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Speaking of which, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content just like this.